Governments and health officials across the world observe World AIDS Day. Often, speeches or forums on HIV/AIDS and a theme is designed for each World AIDS Day.
Are these themes important or relevant?
The themes are important to drive the campaign.
They could be relevant if they were passed across properly.
Reports from private research indicate that 90% of the people living in Kampala do not know about World HIV/AIDS Day themes.
I can't remember, but I've ever heard of something.
I know the World AIDS Day is 1st December, but I don't know anything.
In 1988, communication was World AIDS Day theme.
I think if we sat down and communicated very, very openly with our spouses, I think we could come to the root cause of the problem and we would be able to address it.
Communication is a very important tool because we are saying people need to know what is happening. They need to know about the dynamics of the epidemic.
To go open, for everybody to know, for governments, for donors, for civil society, for individuals to know that there was HIV and that it would be dangerous not to keep about it.
In 1989, Phile Bongole Lutaya, a famous Ugandan musician, gave HIV/AIDS a human face after going public.
Show him support when he needed it most. Good thing was so brave, and he made all of us that much easier to receive and understand.
Well, if a theme comes about youth, one, I know there's a message that is coming to the youth about the disease. And as a youth, I definitely know that there's caution to take.
Young people were starting sex a bit early, girls much earlier than boys. So the aim that time was to protect them from acquiring HIV.
HIV/AIDS was not an issue for only the Ministry of Health. So you're calling upon everyone at all different levels, the political level, the technical level, from the LC ones right up to LC5 and the government, right up. How are we going to share the challenge?
We can always share such information free of charge with those different stakeholders to make sure that the message of HIV and AIDS spread out widely.
According to religion, the Catholic religion, members they make vows to stay together until death, no matter what happens. So our advice is this, that despite this problem of AIDS, that the families have to stay together.
It's very important to talk to the children about AIDS, but when you are positive, I don't think it's very wise to tell your children because they get frightened.
Force for Change World AIDS campaign with young people was World AIDS Day theme in 1998.
Some of the youth are big-headed. They really don't want to listen. They don't want to take the advice from the elders. They feel they are big.
We are from different cultures. We are raised up in a different way. But if remedies are put there, I think we can overcome it. Don't just put it as in government alone. No, we can fight it.
It is the women who mostly go for HIV testing. Some of them do it through antenatal as they're pregnant and they're checked. And we, the men, stay behind.
It is man to spearhead. If you are to abstain, it should be man to say, no, I'm not going to say this to any woman. If it is to be faithful, it's man to be faithful to his wife. If it is to use a condom, that's where it's even more important. It's a man who puts on a condom.
We are supposed to be charitable to each other, to practice charity to your neighbor.
The community, the donors, to call them, the government. I care about the situation of HIV/AIDS, but do you? I care about the children who are living with HIV/AIDS, do you? So it still was to call upon the people for us to address the issue of HIV/AIDS in a holistic manner.
You want to kill your neighbor because you are infected, so you think you should not die alone. That's how they reason, I think. So it's very uncharitable to do that.
Everybody who had HIV was looked at with suspicion, and there is a lot of stigma, denial and discrimination So people were not coming out, even when programs were developed to support them.
The Catholic Church does not put stigma on people with HIV/AIDS.
The Uganda team traveled into Maputo for the All Africa Games, and one of the boxers missed out traveling the team because of the HIV status.
We feel at least the level of stigma and discrimination has greatly reduced, because irrespective of your sex status, you are tasked to do duties like the other people who are not infected or affected by HIV/AIDS. Stigma and discrimination is greatly declining in the Uganda Police Force.
In 2004, the World AIDS Day theme was Women, Girls, HIV and AIDS.
To an AIDS-free generation, I yearn to belong, where there will be zero mother-to-child transmission, zero stigma, zero death due to HIV/AIDS, and zero misappropriation of funds, resources and services. But I'm not worried. I will patiently wait for that AIDS-free generation.
In 2005, 6, 7 and 8, Stop AIDS, Keep the Promise was World AIDS Day theme.
With sub-themes: 2006, Accountability; 2007, Leadership; 2008, Lead, Empower, Deliver.
Every time we go for these HIV conferences, and there are promises that are being made, there are declarations that are being made, but are we keeping what we set out to do, what we promised?
That theme is very interesting. I think it came about the time when there were those scandals of Global Fund, Gavi Fund. But yes, we need accountability.
Aid is money. Of course, accountability is very important. Whatever man is, be it a church, be it a mosque, be it a village, be it a family, accountability is key. When you fail in accountability, the system crumbles.
If you are not accounted, then there is no funding.
Donors from abroad, whether it is Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation, whether it is the President of USA, everybody is trying to chip in what it can. But if the best could be done with the facilities available or availed, that would be step number one. Then we look for more.
Someone somewhere is enjoying a bumper harvest. The guest is not about to take leave of us. Funds never achieve their intentions. The guest has to stay. Someone is more dangerous than the disease itself. He reaps from the stay of the killer.
In 2009 and 2010, Universal Access and Human Rights was World AIDS Day theme.
Those countries which restrict like that are wrong. I think they are wrong because we are free to travel anywhere we want. And the restrictions are our own creation. I'm sure God would like us to travel as we wish.
The government cannot fight AIDS when they neglect or ignore the sexual minority groups, because it's a fact they are here.
Lesbians and homosexuals are not part of our culture. It's a foreign culture. It's a foreign act which has not been here for quite a long time. The government is against it.
Whenever we are fighting HIV/AIDS, we must involve every group. We should not victimize them. Actually, we must invite them, bring them on board, educate them. Of course, some of them, that's a source of living. That's where they earn. So we must educate them.
If their risk of getting AIDS is higher or equal to the ones you call normal, you still have to work with them.
You can't start discriminating. Because once you start discriminating, then those that are not preached might in a way pass on again the virus to the preached.
It means we have to join hands. People of all walks of life, of all professions.
Re-engaging the leadership for HIV prevention, so that we have really a free generation. And the reason we can really talk about a free generation now is that we now understand really quite a lot about the various strategies which we have even packaged into combination prevention. so that if we implemented them to very high coverage levels, we can hope actually to create a free generation. And to do that, given that most of our people live in the villages, it means that it takes us village, it takes a whole village therefore, to prevent HIV.
Message?
My message to the youth is please go and test.
People with HIV should be treated well because we are all the same. You don't have to be selective.
Young men and women born when AIDS was just coming in, and they got the virus, the HIV, from their parents. I think a lot of money should be put there.
The youth who is not infected should struggle hard that it doesn't become infected.
It's not like malaria where the individual is going to have an exposure to mosquitoes. The difference with HIV is that someone else is going to transmit that infection to you. So if you don't have it, you have to work hard not to get it. And for those that have it, they really must come out of themselves and support the world not to get new infections.
Enjoy the worldly life when you are still young, for you won't be young for long. So says the book of books. But I say, wait and wait and wait for the right time.
Please, the architects of those themes, try to get to the people who will pass on the information.
Get themes that target particular age groups.
Continue being part of the response and stand out, especially in terms of making sure that the resources that we access is being utilized properly to ensure that we provide the services that are expected of us. Since we are the frontliners, we are closer to the community, therefore we need to make a difference in the response.
Let's stand together and fight AIDS in times of joy, in times of sorrow.
Is this what you died for? Was it worth your while? Are you comfortable down there? Is your legacy passing the test of time? Do you notice any behavior change? Are we fighting a losing battle? You gave AIDS a face. You dressed AIDS in articulate robes and gowns. You died for a cause. If we were a million, Philip, you are one in a billion. Rest in peace, brother. Thank you for the struggle you initiated. You will always be my hero.